The White Lotus Season 3. That's right, folks. It's back. One of the most critically acclaimed shows on HBO in a long time. It feels like it's been a minute since we had this kind of like culturally impactful show that is just growing in numbers each week. People are getting excited and feeling really positive about it. It's also not just like a first season that could go anywhere or is like a mini series. This is here to stay. I collectively think The White Lotus has entered the pantheon of the great shows of HBO, the great shows of its generation. It's pretty impressive. At 3 seasons in, it's managed to make itself work. That gets me really excited. I think it is such an interesting show and has really found a specific niche. It's honed in on, it has crafted into an interesting story. And this season in particular feels like we're just slightly tweaking what we're doing here. I've talked about the first 2 seasons of this show. It is really interesting, very funny, in a very dry and serious manner. It's about watching these terrible people be terrible. And like just being uncomfortable with them, realizing the things they do are crazy. It's like rich people exploiting an island or just a hotel even, and then getting their comeuppance in some aspect of the word. There's always like a big like story element of like who's the person that dies here. That's been one of the guises for every single one of these seasons, is we open up on a death and then we flash back to the start of that week to see who is eventually going to die. It's a fun gimmick. It's worked for all the seasons. This one in particular, I don't think it gives you like a clear entry point on who's gonna die. Like it could literally go any which way, and there's a lot more teases and a lot more of like, ooh, look at all these people getting dangerously close to stuff. This season compared to the last 2 is just really bleak and kind of depressing. All of these characters, they feel like they could kill themselves or somebody at any moment. Nobody feels happy. There isn't a single storyline where I'm like, oh yes, these people enjoy what they're doing, they feel comfortable, except for maybe Parker Posey, who is just doing her own thing and blissfully unaware of the world. It's really interesting just how sad everyone is and how broken they are. But there's some glimpses of hope here and there that spread out through the thing. But nobody is like perfectly together and comfortable with the choices they made. So, like with every season, we were headed to a new White Lotus location. This time, we are going to Thailand, and we have a really nice resort there. We do spend a lot of time outside of the resort too. I know we've done that in like the other seasons as well. But I think this one in particular, it's like, look at the world we're a part of. There's a lot of different cultures and like stuff going on within this area. So we can see, you know, the older white men who come here with their younger, you know, wives or whatever to just retire. A lot of like old guys retiring here kind of vibe. There is like this more sense of like a religious culture that's overshadowing everything. Buddhism overshadowing everything. We do go to some monasteries. We explore the scenery outside of the hotel more than we do on the inside for some of it, which makes sense. I guess like we got a bigger budget, I'm guessing, so let's go explore the world where we're filming. So that's kind of cool. We also spend a lot of time on boats in this season. We do that every season. Like there's always an episode of a season where we're doing the boat episode this time. We're on the boat. We're gonna have fun on the boat. This time it feels like a lot. Maybe because we got a lot of cool, young, hot people here. We want to like see them on a boat having fun. I'm okay with that. Nothing wrong with that. So yeah, this season introduces us to a lot of new characters. A couple of them returning. Natasha Rothwell is like the main one returning. She was in the first season. You might remember in the first season, she plays one of like the masseuses that works with Jennifer Coolidge. And she is the person that Coolidge's character says like she's going to give them money to start their own practice. This is our first season without Coolidge. So take that as you will. I think she was a great staple of this show. She really fits into this atmosphere well. I did miss her. We had a lot of other new characters like filling that role of hers, so it went fine. I think it worked well. But yeah, Natasha Rothwell, she's back. She is on vacation here, kind of. She's also just kind of like learning some of the tricks from the other people that work here. Her story, I think, is the most grounded in this entire like series of events. Her son shows up later. John Grease's character shows up again from the first 2 seasons. And he is just like, hey, I want to apologize for something my wife said. I'm going to make you a proposition. Are you going to take it or not? The conflict with Rothwell is she knows that he killed his wife, so does she want to get in bed with this guy, per se? She also gets in bed with some other people, you know, like physically, but like financially, will she get in bed with this guy? Easily like the only good person that we really spent time with. Well, you know, there's a couple other ones here, like Amy Lou Wood's good. But Natasha's just a nice lady dealing with stuff, you know? And she wants to have her own. She's like, come on, get your money, girl. Like your son says throughout the whole time he's on screen. Let's just take the money. The worst thing that could happen is whatever. So her storyline, it is very interesting. It's just like a normal person reacting to this world of insanity, which is exactly what you need, because everything else is insane. It is insane. We have one of the main stories being this trio of more middle-aged women, where we have Carrie Coon, Leslie Bibb, and Michelle Monaghan here. And they are just a bunch of friends. They've known each other for ages. They go back to school. They're taking a girls trip. One of them's a famous actress. One of them's a Republican. The other one's Carrie Coon. And they have some conflicts. The perfect representation of a group of this type of women. And I don't know too much about this type of women. I am a 20-something-year-old white male. But I do understand the conflict about whispering about someone as soon as they leave the room. So this show is just showing that trio in that aspect. She likes this guy. She's going to do something with this guy. What do you mean you're doing this in your relationship? How are things failing over here? It's just the whispers and gossip where all of them have something on each other and secretly support one of the others over the other one. And it goes all over the place in the trio. It is crazy how it handles it. There isn't a bad performance in the bunch. I think Carrie Coon is going to be the standout just because she does some insane work in this show. I never thought I would see some of the stuff she's doing here. Like, I know she's a great actress, but she's just so good at, like, moving her face. And I don't think she gets to do that a bunch. I really like it. I like the other ones, too. Monaghan's fantastic, and Bibb is quietly one of the performances of that group I really like. That whole storyline is kind of amazing. It really works. It goes through some really cool directions. Very cathartic ending to that storyline, too, which I think works for, like, the trajectory that all three of these women have been on. So you buy it. You know, there's like some cheesier moments, but none of them are happy. And that's the key to this whole season. Nobody's happy. We also have the Ratliff family. Ooh, they're a fun bunch of characters. We have Parker Posey as the mom and Jason Isaacs as the father. I think these are my two favorite performances of the show. Jason Isaacs, throughout every single episode, things with his job get worse and worse. So the entire time he's on this, like, resort, he's thinking to himself, should I kill myself? And then as time passes, he's like, should I kill my family and then kill myself? It's very subtle. It doesn't look like he's doing much, but I really like just that aspect of him just freaking out over every little thing happening. I think it works really well. And Parker Posey, just the perfect, like, drugged up, hallucinating woman who doesn't really know where she is or what she's doing. Just so, you know, unaware of the stuff going on around her and just accepting of her surrounding. Like, okay, I guess I'm going to do this, you know. She's fantastic. She's fun. All of their kids are very interesting. Patrick Schwarzenegger. It's so weird to see him because I think his character maybe gets, like, the most, like, arc, if there is one, of like actually learning a lesson. He starts off as like a terrible misogynistic guy who wants to get laid, and as the story progresses and weird things happen to him, I'm sure you've seen some of the stuff that happens to him online. he kind of is like, maybe I should try to connect with people on a more intimate level, which you're like, yeah, maybe you should. I think maybe that's a good thing to do. I also really love that all of the Ratliff's kids have like the worst names you ever heard. Saxon, Piper, and Lachlan. Just rich people names that suck. Piper's story is maybe she wants to be a monk. That's a bad idea. And then we have Lachlan, who's this like young kid who's like, is he more like his sister? Is he more like his brother? Where does he fit into this egotistical family? Can he fit in anywhere? Who's to say? Really interesting stuff going on with that family. Jason Isaacs, creepy to no end. I love him in this. Just so weird and stupid. I dig it so much. We also have, I don't know if it's like the acting introduction of Lisa. She's from the band Blackpink. That's a little out of my element. but I know she is from, was she from Thailand? I think she might be. But she's really interesting. I think they kind of build her as like a bigger presence in the show than what she was. But when she shows up, she's kind of just like being a beautiful girl that this guy named Gaektuk has affection for. And she kind of steers him to go in a weird direction. But hey, it works out in the end. He gets the girl, kind of, regardless of the weird things he's done. So that's kind of an interesting storyline. It goes to some interesting places. She does really good. Limited, but really interesting what she does. Maybe the main story, like the big crux that has like a lot of the more emotional beats, is the story of Amy Lou Woods and Walton Goggins, the lovers on this story, who one of them's really spiritual. That's Amy Lou Woods. She's so in tune to connection and spirituality and stuff, and he's like an old bitter man who's coming to this place to go to Bangkok to do like one specific thing. You have probably seen the clips with Walton Goggins acting alongside Sam Rockwell. I don't feel I need to shine any light on Sam Rockwell. It is the greatest single thing we've seen on television this year. Fantastic stuff from him in that one episode. Continues into later episodes. Their whole relationship is awesome because he's kind of like the opposite of what we've seen through every single one of these older gentlemen if they're young girls. Because he is just a dick and he's annoyed and he's just like losing his mind constantly. And you almost completely buy their relationship. And every time Saxon or another person's like throwing themselves at Amy Lou Woods, she's just like, no, I got my guy, I'm good. Goggins is fantastic. I don't need to sing his praises anymore. The things he's doing for guys with receding hairlines like me, it's marvelous. Because he looks so fucking sexy in this show. Just a complete mess of a man. And a lot of it has to do with just like the big forehead and the way he projects energy. Incredible. And Amy Lou Woods, she's so beautiful. She's just so fun and pretty. Really positive, really bubbly. Their storyline's fantastic. It's all really interesting. Like, the guy from the Zone of Interest plays the hotel manager, Fabian. Doesn't do a lot, but he is here adding some stuff to the work. This season, it's as beautiful as ever. The dialogue is as sharp as ever, if only a little bit more miserable. And that's okay. Not everything needs to be positive and happy. Sometimes misery just shows people their truest selves, and that's what we are getting in The White Lotus. It's like these sad, broken people who came to this resort to learn something. Maybe they don't learn anything. It happens. And that's what this show feels like. So, The White Lotus Season 3. I am going to give an 8 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.